Bro, here's why AI today is exactly like social media in 2011. So bro, I'm not gonna lie to you, I had a period in my life, really starting from last year, 2025, to 3 months ago, so like a year and a half, where I was just obsessed with ChatGPT and Cloud and Gemini and Grok, but it's specifically ChatGPT, right? And I used to have like a chat for everything, and I used to use it for like hours, right? Of course, I would do like my self-improvement work on like the side, like meditation and journaling and working out and reading books, right? But I was just obsessed with it and used it for hours, right? I remember basically in my routine, I have like a 6-hour block, right? Where this is like my most focused part of the day in the early morning, where I just don't eat anything, I don't consume, I don't even open my phone, right? I just meditate, journal, and read for hours and exercise, right, if I can. So I do like yoga and stretching and things like that, right? But anyways, I was using that period, that 6-hour block. Sometimes I would even like record videos for like 2, 3, even 4 hours, right? Editing for like 2, 3, 4 hours, like just creating massive amounts of content. I was using that 6-hour block just for ChatGPT and just typing and typing and typing. And honestly, I did learn some things that were very important, but a lot of it was just crap. And what I learned is that the more I use ChatGPT and Gemini and Cloud and Grok and all these chatbots, the more I discovered it's the same exact incentive of social media in 2011. I realized that AI became so popular, like extremely popular. Like ChatGPT has 2 billion downloads, Gemini has 1 billion downloads, Perplexity and Grok both have 100 million downloads each, right? Cloud has 20 million downloads. So basically like 3 billion and 220 million people have downloaded AI. That's insane. That's exactly like social media in 2011. But here's the thing. With massive distribution comes heavily, heavily incentivized, attention focused. I'm trying to make this simple, but basically when distribution becomes massive, right? When something is like popular, like billions of people have it, the incentive becomes all about attention, because attention equals money in today's age. And that's what's happening. AI is becoming all about attention. It is heavily focused on attention and barely now focused on actual objective knowledge. Like it keeps hallucinating, keeps giving wrong answers. But the way, like all of it is just focused on attention and creating images and you know, giving you like the way that the words type, and it looks so cool how the AI works. Bro, I'm just gonna tell you the truth, right? The AI we have right now, like the AI that's available to the public, is nothing compared to the AI that the people at the top have. The people at the top have, because I studied this at length, right? They have something called the AI agent. And this is something that is way more powerful. This is the most advanced version of AI. Like this is way more powerful than these chatbots that we have. This is actual AI that actually like you don't even type something in it. It can create things for you. It's just very powerful. It is so powerful. What we have is it's just business. And what I'm saying is, let me give you a brief history, right? Social media, it all started with Facebook, right? We all know that by Zuckerberg. And you know, he started in Harvard, and you know, when he built it in 1 week, by the way. And when he started it, people in Harvard started using it, and then people in Harvard started telling their friends to use it, and their friends told their friends, and it just became very popular in America, and then in everywhere in the world, because everyone in the world was using internet, and everyone had like a Facebook account, and Facebook reached over 1 billion downloads, right? It just became this massive global monster, right, of social media. And the base or the surface incentive of it was connect everyone to the world. You know, I always talk about the dangers and how social media is showing our lives, and we have like a lot of evidence that claims that excessive, like there's a direct correlation between excessive social media use and depression, anxiety, worrying, lower life satisfaction, lower enjoyment with life. And that's why I always talk about, like, social media destroys our lives because it makes you compare yourself to other people, and you know, the blue screen and all the dopamine, artificial dopamine that's destroying our lives. It's disgusting. But then, you know, Mark Zuckerberg with Meta, he created WhatsApp, and then he created Messenger, and then he created Instagram, and he just created all these social media companies, right? And they're all controlled by Meta. And I'm not attacking Mark Zuckerberg. I think he's genuinely a great guy, right? But the incentive of it is just attention. And it all comes back to the first law of self-improvement, which is never do what everyone else is doing. We all know that. And right now, everyone is using AI. AI right now it's exactly like social media in the past. In like the early 2000s, in 2009, 2010, 2011, it's exactly like that. That's why everyone is telling you, oh, go into AI, because that's what will get you rich, right? But that doesn't mean it's helpful at all. And the thing is, I fell into the trap. I did fall into the trap for a year and a half. I thought AI will actually help us improve, will actually aid self-improvement, will actually make us become better versions of ourselves. And I did believe that for a long time, and that it actually gave objective knowledge. But what it does is, it's exactly like Google. It's exactly like Google. Like, you know, basically in the past, right, in like the 90s and the early 2000s, the internet was called like the World Wide Web. Basically, there was like millions and millions of websites. But the thing is, they weren't organized at all. There was nothing to organize. They were just there, right? And you didn't know what this was or this was or what. It was just www.blacklikeCats.com, right? Like something like that. And what Google did is they basically organized millions and even billions of websites into Google search. And that's what they actually did. And you know what they promised is, you know, all of the world's information at your fingertips, right? It was revolutionary, and that's what actually happened. But what actually happened, and Larry Page, the co-founder of Google, literally said this, the man who actually built it. He says, what we do is we only show the first 10 most visited sites or pages, right? And that's exactly how AI works. It's exactly the same. It just gives you the most popular response. And AI made me depressed. It made me hate my life. I literally discovered this was called AI psychosis, but because I kept using AI, I naturally have like an obsessive, addictive personality over everything. That's why I'm so obsessed with self-improvement and creating content, right? But I became obsessed with it, and I was just using it for hours and hours and hours and hours. That I just became hooked. And I stopped spending time with my family. I slacked on my self-improvement. Yeah, I was reading books, but I wasn't really focusing. I wasn't really focusing on the exercise. I was focusing, how do I make it optimal? Does ChatGPT agree with this? What does ChatGPT rate this? Like, all my thoughts were just about AI. Because that's how it is. It's incentivized. It is so heavily incentivized on attention rather than on actually giving you objective truths of the universe. If you want the objective truths of the universe, right? I'm not gonna tell you to buy my course. I'm not gonna tell you to buy my app on the Play Store, the App Store. The objective truth is in books. And I have nothing to sell you or give you anything for this. It's literally just in books. Like if you genuinely read, because you're not reading a freaking Google search, you're not reading a YouTube video. You're literally reading a person's life. You're reading like James Clear's life, his whole life studying habits. You're reading like Dale Carnegie's life, like Marcus Aurelius's life, right? Meditations. But you're literally reading a person's life, a person's either biography or autobiography, or you're reading his life's work on this thing. Books are, and I do believe they will always be, the greatest source of critical information and knowledge and actually becoming an intellectual. Books are and will always be the greatest source of information. It's just the truth of it. It's just the truth of it, right? So yeah. Really, if you got nothing out of this video, just get this. The incentive of AI right now is not about you becoming the best version of yourself. It doesn't care about that. It doesn't care about you becoming intelligent. It doesn't care about even giving you right answers. It hallucinates, it gives a lot of wrong answers, and that causes massive problems. Like we literally see people like falling in love with AI because of loneliness in the world. We literally see people using AI as a therapist, which is very dangerous. We see people even dying and committing suicide because of AI. That's how dangerous it's becoming. It's literally like social media, but even worse. And I just want to save you, bro, from this at the beginning. Like, and this is why it explains everything. This is why everyone is telling us to invest in AI, because it's literally like investing in social media in 2011. Yes, it will make you a whole lot of money. It will make you a lot of money. Like, technology is the best path to making tons of money, to building massive wealth. It is the best path by far that I've ever seen. And if you look at all of the top 10 billionaires, or most of them, excluding Warren Buffett, they're all technology. Except, you know, like the absolute, like very, very old, like we're talking like Warren Buffett, like the Walton family who built Walmart. Most of the top 10 billionaires, of the top 10 richest people on earth, are just technology. But what I'm saying, and really it all comes down, okay, is money really the purpose of life? Is just making a lot of money? And I say no, it isn't. Because think about it, if you had all the money in the world, but you can't share it with anyone, what's the point? What's the point of it all? If you can't share all of that, if you had all of the billions or trillions of dollars in the world, but you can't share that with anyone, what's the point? Because that's what actually genuinely makes us happy and fulfilled as human beings, is relationships. It's growing ourselves, it's becoming the best versions of ourselves. And eventually sharing that with our families and our wives and our kids and our friends in the future, who are on the same path. So yeah, bro, like let all these billions and billions of people, let most people fight and compete and just keep rage baiting everyone on these, you know, social media platforms like TikTok and WhatsApp and, you know, Instagram and Facebook, all these social media platforms, and let them all these billions of people use these chatbots and get addicted to them and just compete and destroy one another. And let us live the simple, peaceful, fulfilling, and genuinely happy life of improvement, of self-improvement, spending time in nature, improving our mental health, spending time, relationships, building relationships, spending time with other people, reading books, meditating, journaling, exercising, taking care of our health. That's really the purpose of life. If you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the top need is self-actualization. So literally we fulfill all our needs, our physiological needs, food, water, shelter, right? Safety needs, or love and belonging needs, or esteem needs. We fulfill all of these needs to reach the highest need, which is self-actualization, which is becoming your best self. That's literally what Maslow talks about. It's becoming the best. It's fulfilling all of your potential as a human being. That's actually the highest need we have as human beings. So yeah, bro, that's what I think. Like, we just need to focus on the simple, healthy habits: meditation, journaling, exercising, you know, creating content, you know, building a business that genuinely helps people, that genuinely solves people's problems, right? Exercising, you know, weightlifting, doing yoga, boxing, right? Martial arts, reading for hours and hours and hours, because that's where information and intelligence is actually built, right? And actually having fulfilling relationships. You know, honestly, I would have never expected to tell you this, but spending time with our family, it's worth the hit to your ego, man. Like spending time with our family, it's really the best relationship of our lives, because bro, like you only get one father, you only get one mother, and you don't get that many siblings. Think about it. Spending time with our family is the best ROI you can ever get. Arthur Brooks, the expert on happiness, the man who basically has like a literally PhD in happiness, the Harvard professor. He talks about the 4 core pillars of happiness, which are faith, family, friends, and work. Those are the 4 pillars of happiness. And really, the core of these 4 pillars are friends and family, relationships. And faith is just like your worldview, like a religion, right? And work, having genuinely fulfilling work that actually helps other people, right? So yeah, that's really my opinion. Is we just focus on being the best versions of ourselves and having deep connections and deep relationships with other people, and just escaping technology and AI and social media, because that's really like it's exactly like the Matrix, the movie The Matrix. You're escaping the Matrix, right? I don't want to sound too Andrew Tate, but really it's just the truth, right? AI is exactly like social media in 2011, because the incentive is profit. That's been my experience, that's what I learned, and as always, we're in this together and we will make it.